Welcome back to episode 7 of Pawns and Patrons. Our heroes have nobly liberated a horse from its abusive owner, in an act that will certainly never come back to bite them in the rear, and now have made their way with said horse, ridden by a tiny version of Agnes, into Blaboutin, the frog village in the swamp. So, you are all now gathered in the center of town, outside of this incredibly large dome. What can I compare it to? It's a large building, the size of a small building. And the entire town of Blaboutin has turned out, seemingly, to observe your arrival and see what it is that you might need from town. What do the 12 of you do?
Have you guys seen a wizard?
The woman in front of you, whose name is Phyllis, she introduces herself as. She looks surprised and says, "Wizard, what do you mean, a wizard?"
Wizard. Yeah, court wizard, named after the hottest month of all.
Augusta.
Mm-hmm.
Julius.
No, Augusta. Augusta, yeah.
Let me see. What do we have here? Yeah. She pulls out a pair of glasses from her bathrobe and puts them on her snout. She looks up at you and says, "A wizard, Augusta.
Mm-hmm.
Well, which one is it? Is it a wizard or is it Augusta?"
It's both. It's the wizard Augusta, a court wizard.
You
Augusta.
mean to tell me you're looking for 2 people who came through here, one a wizard and one Augusta?
Whoa. No, Augusta's the
She
name,
looks around at
wizard's
the
the
crowd
rank.
gathered, and she says, "Has anybody here seen 2 people coming through? One of them a wizard? No? Another one? Augusta? No?" And she turns back to you and says, "Well, there you have your answer."
I feel like you're being intentionally difficult, and it's making me suspicious you actually know exactly where the court wizard Augusta is, and you're trying to, like, fake not knowing.
Whoa. How dare you insult the frog's honor?
I didn't...
Did you guys happen to see Augusta the wizard?
She looks at you,
I
Strad,
think
and she says,
you're just being unclear, buddy. Let me handle the frog talk.
I'm so sorry. Words just fall out of my mouth sometimes.
at last, a person of breeding. Would you care for a soak? We can discuss this in the bathhouse.
I would love a soak. That would be wonderful. Goodbye.
This is the experience of me ordering food in Montreal and then Jen ordering food in Montreal. Just saying.
Yes, 8.
Yeah, she beckons you and like claps, and someone runs over with like another big fluffy towel all folded up.
Nice.
Looking over it with like 2 frog eyes, blinking over the top of this towel that they're carrying. And she leads you into the magnificent bathhouse. As you enter, like, you know, your nose is accosted with the scent of like the kinds of mosses that frogs tend to put on, like, around the fires to create the herbal smells that feel comforting and to smell like home. And the air is just like suffused with steam from all of the like braziers with hot rocks on them that occasional frog attendants ladle small scoops of water onto. The roof is like domed, but then in the middle of the dome there's like a little spike that's pointing down, and so there's like this constant steady drip of water condensing on the roof and then dripping down the spike into the pool, within which like 8 or 9 frogs lounge of mixed genders. It's a mixed gender bathhouse. And of course, is her name Phyllis?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like it. Yes, Phyllis, of course, throws off her bathrobe and strides straight into the pool and then settles in and says,
Stretch does the same. He like throws the blanket.
We're all standing outside.
Fast.
yeah, you're all standing outside.
This feels just like home. I am glad you guys managed to save the essence of the Froge.
Oh, yes. Well, in the great kingdom of Mordland, we know how to treat our people. Please, make yourselves at home. Fly ointment. And then she hands a tin over to you. Yep.
Can
You're looking for someone, yes?
Yes. We have
And
been
it's-
looking.
The individual in question is a frog, I presume?
I don't know. Her name's Augusta. From Indeed, court magician of Mordland.
Well, I'm afraid we don't know much about court magicians here in Blabouton. But I did see a suspiciously wealthy frog walking through just a few days ago.
Ooh. Who do you think it might have been?
I do not know. Have you any description of Augusta? Was she perhaps mounted on horseback, carrying a pair of barrels with her?
Oh, no, but I did meet that frog indeed. That is Strège Dudet, researched by the police.
Do they?
Yes, I know.
She says, I've split my prep across 2 documents. Let it be known, I will never do this again. She says, we must fetch Thunkel immediately. We must let him know that another Dudet yet lives.
They have been searching for the Dudets?
Well, no, actually, Thunkel quite thought that all of the Dudets were dead.
Ooh.
You know, ever since the sinking of the great house.
Yes.
Well, we must-
And how do you feel about Dudets nowadays? Is this a reason for celebration or for mourning?
Oh, yes, well, yes, of course. If a true line of Dudet yet exists, then we may put a Dudet back in House Dudet. We may reclaim independence of our swamp from Lady... And she, wrinkles her nose. Herbalat. She spits into the water.
Lady Herbalat. Yeah.
Pray tell, where was it? How did you come to discover that this man was in fact a Dudet?
Well, he had it written on his back, mind you.
Well, I never knew what the nobles found fashionable. I suppose it's a new fashion.
I think they like to be clearly identified, yes.
She nods. She taps a finger by her nose. She says, "That's how they can identify each other and lord it over us common folk like you and me."
Mm-hmm.
Well. If this man truly is a Dudet, then we really must inform the king. We must make sure that not only Thunkel receives the stipend of the Dudets, but also this lost Strège. I am certain that 20 gold per month would not go amiss for such a long-lost scion of the house.
20 gold per month, you say?
Oh, yes. Well, when the house of Dudet fell, the king, he was sorely wounded, aggrieved by the loss of his noble lineage, and committed to 20 gold coins per month. At least that's what Thunkel is pulling for his lineage.
20 gold pieces per month. For doing what exactly?
Why, for being a noble descendant of the line of Dudet.
And that person would have to stay here?
Oh no, of course not. That person would assuredly live in the manor, in the swamps, the great House Dudet, sunken though it may be. I am told that at least a portion of it remains above the water's surface.
Interesting. Well, we should probably find the Stretch person.
Yes. In fact, I can gather a handful of excellent trackers who can help you search through the woods.
All right.
And of course, well, I must take you to Thunkel. He'll want to hear the words from you himself. And she stands straight up in the water and wades back to the shore. Come on.
Give me a minute. I have to go talk to the group.
Oh yes. Well, I'll go scrape mud off my back.
Yeah. As one should do.
Yes.
I go back to the group. I share what I just learned and the 20 GP per month thing, the manor swamps thing, accommodation, and I'm like, so do we blame it on what's his name? Crap, I forget the guy's name.
Bellon. Or
do I just say I'm Stretch?
It could be a trap, Agnes says, always suspicious.
Stretch is looked for by the police. Well, the order, whatever. I do not know.
Maybe we could get directions to Castle Dudet or Palace Dudet and poke around.
I guess we should go meet Uncle. See what he knows. Maybe he knows about Augusta. All right. Then you folk are invited to join me. Go meet Uncle. For now, let's not reveal my true identity.
I think that like grand reveal is like good at the end, you know.
Oh, sorry, Jen. Have you assumed the identity of the traitor in return, or do you have an alternate identity now?
No, I actually was thinking I would say I am Bellon. Like if I get asked, but nobody asked me for my name, so right now I just being a frog. I also have my silk clothes, which I have not been wearing.
As you turn away after having informed your companions of this interesting development, you see like a frog with strange red spots all over his face, peering at you from behind the behind the curve of the dome nearby. As soon as he sees you look, he goes and then runs away. You hear like a little slapping feet.
I kind of hop behind him. Wait, who are you?
Let me take a look at Stretch's character sheet. Yes, all Froges, of course, are very fast on their feet. What sign were you born under? Fortunate date. Yes. Yeah. Give me an agility check.
Okay. 15.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. So you dash around the corner of the hut, and this Froge makes a flying leap and flies over a cabbage cart. The Froge pushing it raises his fist and shouts after. You're able to clear it quite easily as well. He then takes you through someone's backyard and ducks under someone's laundry line and comes out with like someone's knickers like over his ears sort of streaming behind him. You manage to duck the hanging sheets and catch up to him, sort of like at the edge of where like a promontory of land just sort of like ends at the swamp, and he just sort of like stops at the edge of the water, looking a little bit petrified. And that's where you catch up to him.
Yeah. I arrive, I put my hand on his shoulders, I'm like, why would you do that?
Yeah, now that you're up close, this frog has bright red spots all along his head, and then like bright lines down his throat and on the back of his neck, just like normal frog markings. But also he's nursing a black eye. And he turns to you and he says, "Wait, don't hurt me. I can tell you information."
Uh-huh.
You have to promise not to tell anybody about this. Phyllis, she wouldn't want me to tell you.
Okay. I will make you a frosh promise. I spit in my hand and I put it over close to him. Close to his mouth. It's super strange.
He looks at your hand. He looks at you. He looks at your hand. He holds up his hand. He spits into his hand. And then he like gently presses each of his sucker fingers up against your sucker fingers and then pulls them apart. He's froze promise.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's exactly how we do it, us frogs.
He says, "You're not the first group of people who have come through town looking for Augusta Rebay."
Who else?
There was another, a set of knights on top of horses. They came from the city great. I've heard something about the ruler there, the overman, overhuman?
Overlord.
Overlord, yes, Overlord. Well, these frogs from the Overlord, they went out into the swamp searching for...
Also frogs.
Oh, no, they weren't frogs.
Oh, okay.
They were humans. Sorry. Habit.
Yeah.
Anyhow, these good frogs went out into the swamp and they paid Phyllis a large ruby gemstone to keep silence about them and the whereabouts of Augusta Rebay.
Called it.
And where is Augusta Rebay?
Why, frankly, I do not know. She did not, in fact, stop in the town, though she did travel nearby. Some of our scouts did find her in the woods.
I take some notes.
Alive, right?
Well, we must find Augusta Rebay. She is in great danger. Okay.
He nods and says, "Now, please, forget you met me.
Okay.
It won't go well for anyone."
Okay. Forget you met me too then.
Oh, okay. What was your name?
Bellin.
I'm Klomp. But
Nice to
don't
meet you.
remember that.
No, I won't. Clump.
Okay. Bye, Bellin.
Goodbye, Clump. I walk away. I like Clump.
While Stretch has dashed off into the middle of nowhere searching for this strange frog, what have the rest of you been up to? Babs and Agnes and Sky and Kate and etc.
I guess I'm sorry, I don't remember, but was the spice that originally headed for this place, or was it headed from this place?
I don't think you got a clear understanding of where this spice was from or to. But you could certainly ask.
I'll see if
Wait,
Sky...
I have the info.
Oh, okay.
They did mention
Yeah, 2 barrels of spice to sell in Mordlin. That was the plan.
I think Phyllis also said that the trader passed through here because. So
Right.
this might not have been the destination.
Probably best not to sell it here then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably not.
Scribbles is making notes on the agriculture of the area. Henley is seething as usual, and Babs is just kind of like hanging out, trying to look nonchalant by the horse with the barrel.
Beskri is trying to copy every note that the scribe is taking. And Lurjui is trying to make her stuff look more worn out because it's too clearly new and people are clearly picking up on it. So she's trying to like add a little bit of dirt, but she doesn't really want to make it like actually used or bumped. So it's like she's just, I don't know, laying dirt over it. Yeah.
Yeah, Fiona is using her herbs and flint. Agnes is she's noticed now that the grandma is kind of Senga kind of represents her, and she's like, oh, we got to do something about it. So she's like brushing her hair, but like watching Senga as if it were a mirror. Like, do we get the knot out? And kind of like they're grooming. And Evelyn actually is smart enough to start like looking around where they're at and checking out the village.
Dee is kind of walking around trying to make a friend, just talking to people, looking to experience a little bit of frog culture close up. Kate and Sky are kind of grossed out and just standing quietly by themselves near the horse, not wanting to talk to anyone.
Awesome. What kind of information are you looking for about the town, or to make friends with people, or?
I want to see some art, some culture. Mostly, I want to see what their style of dance is like, because Dee is an amateur dancer. She's got her sights set and is here to work on some other stuff. So frog dancing.
Awesome.
She wants to try it
so, too. First of all, I think you find a young frog maiden named Regina, who is standing next to a fresh mud hut and is taking her fingers and just like dragging them all along the outside of the hut and making like gouged wavy lines in the outside of the hut with her fingers. And as you look around, you can see that all of the huts and houses of Bois Boutin are decorated similarly. All of them have hardened exteriors, sort of like gouged into swirls and whorls and patterns. And it's all very abstract, but it's actually quite intricate, and obviously takes a lot of time and expertise in order to craft the specific layering that makes the effects on display.
Dee will come and respectfully ask some questions after observing for a little bit. Introduce herself. Hi, I'm Dee, and I just can't help but notice the very delicate and yet firm impressions you're making in the side of your hut. Do you mind if I observe for a moment?
The woman sort of like her throat expands very briefly, and then she says, "Oh, excuse me. Pardon me. I'm Regina. It's very nice to meet you, Dee. Well, please, by all means, would you like a stool? Can I offer you a drink of water?"
I would love a drink of water, but I'd like to stay mobile so I can kind of get a look at this. And wow.
Of course. She, wipes her hands off on like a specific sort of like side slung apron. That's very obviously for wiping mud off hands. One moment, please. I'll be right back. And she heads into the hut and then emerges a little bit later with a carafe, a stoneware carafe that's like glistening on the outside. Again, the carafe itself, like kiln-fired stoneware, glazed, has that same sort of like swirl pattern, and then the glaze has like settled into the grooves so that there's a darker, lighter like depth of color to this.
This is so
fired.
cool. Is there anything I could trade you for a cup like this so I can bring it home to my people and remember this village for all time? Can I give you something?
Regina looks surprised and she says, well, yes, I suppose that I would trade for this. What have you?
I have a small hammer.
And what's your profession again?
I am a gardener.
Is this D?
Oh, no. This is D. I'm looking at Kate. I'm so sorry. I am a squire, and I can offer you... I look around. This holy symbol.
She takes it and looks at it and says, my. And who is this?
This? Well, colloquially, we call her Osha. I don't know if there's a proper term out here where you are, but this is the holy symbol of Osha, patron deity of builders, constructors, anyone working in industry.
Amazing. I work in industry.
You'll need a little holy symbol to keep your house protected, to keep your workwomen protected while you build.
Well, I can imagine that being very useful, especially after, well, never mind. Here, I'll happily trade you this picture for that holy symbol.
That sounds great. But that also sounds like a really interesting story. What happened?
Oh, well, she looks out like just a little ways into the swamp where you can see like the ruined foundations of a mud hut just like sunk and like, the dome all caved in and everything. And she says, things just haven't been the same. Sorry, someone's ringing my doorbell, but I'm not available. Things just haven't been the same ever since the worship of Bugaboo Bills failed in our swamp.
The worship of Bugaboo Bills? That sounds like an amazing story. I mean, I know you're busy. I don't want to take up your time, but we're only here for a short while. I would love to hear the story of Bugaboo Bills.
Oh, well. His great frogginess casts out his webbed fingers over all the wet places of the earth, especially those with a healthy dose of mud. And we here in Bois Bouton have long held to the proper rites and rituals of Bugaboo Bills, but, well, all of that changed some 40 years ago. That was in my mother's time, you understand, when I was just a little tadpole, but as I grew up, I heard all of the tales of how the worship of Bugaboo Bills just faded out one day. Mother used to say there were holy places in the swamp, but she stopped going for most of my life. She seemed to miss it dearly.
That's so tragic.
Yes, it is sad when a place loses what makes it truly special.
Mm-hmm.
Things were a lot better when we were under the Dudays.
That is so heartbreaking and yet so commonplace. Great things fade and we're left in the ashes of the old world, wanting a sense of security and longing from way back when. I feel the same way about my homeland.
She nods solemnly, says, "Thank you."
I will observe her patterning and rejoin the party when everyone's back.
Awesome. Yeah, I think everybody makes their way back together. No problem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We group back up, so then I told them what I found out. My friends, you must gather for some information. I gather.
Scribbles runs up with a paper.
Another group of knights were looking for Augusta Rebay. They paid Phyllis a large ruby gemstone to silence them about Augusta Rebay. We need to find her. This information was given to me by a frog with no name. I do not remember his name. It is very important. Yeah. So I was thinking, maybe we tell Phyllis that Strej has also been looking for Augusta, but that he is being looked for by the knights, and they are dangerous, and we must go save Strej today.
That's like a
And it's not
really
me.
good idea.
I'm not Strej. Huh? Okay.
That's a really good idea.
Okay, we do that now. Come. Come, my friends.
I go with
I
him.
guess we...
We
I
all
guess-
nod.
Yeah, checks out.
Yeah. Seems good.
Okay, so we go see what's their name? Titan Tintun.
Funkle?
Uncle, yeah, Uncle.
So I think the easiest way to get you to Thunkel is actually for, once the group of you have discussed, Phyllis comes sweeping out, fully bathrobed, and then says, "Well, would you like to go meet Thunkel? I'm sure he'd love to hear about his long-lost cousin Dudet, who is apparently wandering the swamp."
Yes, we must go see Uncle at once.
"Excellent, come with me." She leads you through the winding streets of town, and then she reaches one of the mud huts and bangs on the door. A voice inside just goes, "Hang on 1 second," and then you hear like the shoving of like heavy furniture or like an unwheeled, ungreased wooden drawer to a cupboard being like shoved shut, and then you hear thump 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 thump. The door slams open. "Hey, Philly! Oh, hi!" And there, standing before you, is Thunkel.
Thunkel.
Well, nice to meet you, Sir Uncle. I am Belen the Frog, and I come bearing important news.
What's that?
Strej Dudet has been spotted.
Who's that?
A Dudet, mind you.
Another Dudet.
Yes.
Oh, that's so great. Well, cool. Are you gonna go find him?
Yes, but you must help us. Strej told us he was going to find Augusta Ribe, and we know he is being chased by terrible knights.
Wow, you're kind of laying a lot on me here. What?
Strej has been headed to
Strej today is being chased by some knights, and he has to find another person.
Yes.
Is it another frog?
Augusta Ribe.
Augusta Ribe. Why is Strej looking for Augusta Ribe?
He did not tell me that. Maybe she will help him
What is he trying to do?
get out of trouble with the law.
Oh, well, I'm a personally very law-abiding myself. I'm big fan of the law and all things legal.
Yes,
actually.
me too.
So maybe I think if Strej is in trouble with the law, then really what's best for everybody involved is for the law to, to catch Strej. And what's the usual punishment for the kinds of crimes that Strej is being sought for?
Death.
Dead. Oh, well, that's terrible
But we cannot let the Dudet lineage fall. I bet he is innocent. I bet people are trying to frame him to take down the House Dudet lineage. We must stop it.
Well, it certainly would be sad to have a death in the family and all, but it sounds like he's really bringing disrepute on the name of the House Dudet. So maybe I think maybe I'd better stay out of it. After all, if Stretch dies, then well, there's always me. So I think it's going to be okay. Thank you though. Listen, can I offer you a glass of water or something?
Yes, please.
Okay, stay right here. And then he closes the door.
Is Phyllis with us? How did she react to all that?
I think like there's a crowd of like 12 people crowded around the door, and then like a little jumping Phyllis in the back trying to like see what's going on and like, excuse me, can I just excuse me, could you, why are you all so tall? I mean,
I think I leave and I go talk to Phyllis.
yeah. She looks up at you expectantly. So
Phyllis, your guy, he doesn't want Dudets to come. He doesn't want Stretch there.
well, I couldn't quite hear, but what did he say? Something about the trouble with the law?
Yes, Stretch is being framed by the law.
Oh, well, Thunkel is very, very, he's an upright gentleman who really, really crosses his T's and dots his I's. He would never be caught dead on the wrong side of the law.
But
You said Stretch is being chased. Did you say you saw him being chased?
I have heard that knights were looking for him, so we were also looking to help him out.
Oh my. Well,
My accent changed. I don't know why.
oh, well, oh, you should have told me. I think I wouldn't have brought you to Thunkel if I had known that Stretch was in legal trouble. Poor Thunkel, he wants to live out a nice, quiet life here in town. Doesn't want any of the troubles associated with his family. You understand.
Well, it seems like Thunkel doesn't want another Dudet in town because he wants to keep the Dudet heritage. Maybe Thunkel is commissioning the knights to get to Stretch.
You think that one Dudet has hired knights to hunt down the other Dudet?
Maybe Stretch is being framed.
What is Stretch being framed for? I don't know. This all sounds so far-fetched. Maybe you should bring Stretch to town. Maybe it's all a misunderstanding and we can just clear it up.
I agree. How about you tell me where Augusta Ribet is so that I can find Stretch?
I'm terribly sorry. I still don't know anything about an Augusta Ribet.
I believe you do. Would you swear on the great boobills?
She gasps. Very well. If that's what you want, then I will swear it on the great boobills.
How dare you!
And she says,
What?
And I can tell you who might know more about. Wait, what was it you wanted to know?
Augusta Ribet.
There is someone else who might know more about a visitor to the swamp.
Mm-hmm.
The old Dudet groundskeeper.
Mm-hmm.
Naverst Brow.
So you say you would swear on Bubug. How about I call on to Bubug right now so that you can swear in front of him?
Her eyes just widen and she looks at you and she says, I don't think anybody wants to invite Bobug Boobills' great, magnificent, wonderful, glorious visage to shine down upon this village. After all, it has been some years since the worship of Bobug Boobills was popular in these parts. There's no need for that kind of attention. I'll happily swear to his name.
But she believes that you could, though.
I don't think she does. Maybe I could do minor magic to show her that Bubug can be summoned. I don't know. I guess we can go see the person she's talking about. So where is the groundkeeper?
She frowns and she says, well, Navarre will be very interested in these reports of Strej as well. So really, it's a good idea for you to go visit him anyway. And he and his old manservant, they tend to keep a close eye on the goings-on of their corner of the swamp. They might know more about someone passing through, whoever this Augusta Ribe person is, court magician. In fact, the old House Dudet was quite popular in various noble circles. It's entirely plausible that if Augusta is the court magician, she might even have visited the old house. Anyway, if you head north out of town, and she points to the path leading north, and then cut west, then half a day's walk through the swamp, you should eventually find yourself in House Dudet territory. If the old paths are still there, and if Navarre has been out recently, then you'll see the torches along the road.
Okay, noted. Did you take that, scribes?
Of course.
Thank you very much for your
Always.
assistance.
Yeah, Phyllis crosses her arms and says, yes, well, surely you won't want to leave so late in the day. You'd be out in the swamp after dark, and who knows where that great white tadpole might be.
I think we saw that. Pipes in Kate.
You what?
I think we saw it.
You saw the great white tadpole?
Uh-huh. I mean, it's a long white thing that swims through the water, right?
Yes, and you survived?
Well, we saw it. We didn't touch it. Yeah,
Oh,
we saw
good.
it.
Oh, I'm so glad you didn't touch it. That would be so disappointing.
What happens if you touch it? What happens?
Well, you'll become anathema.
I don't. That's a 5-letter word. $5 word. I don't know it.
We here in Bois-Boutin have taken the sign of the great white tadpole as a sign of resurgence of our area. Indeed, our crops have done quite well this past 2 years, and we have more tadpoles now than we ever have before, swimming in the spawning pool, and things are starting to really look up for Bois-Boutin. It was about the same time as the great white tadpole appeared that everything started turning around for us. Some of us in town have decided that it's a sign of good luck. Maybe a peace offering from the great Bubugbubills.
But you also think it's dangerous?
Worship. Oh yes, of course. It is a very sensitive creature. It has a lair that it demands nobody ever approach, and it appreciates offerings being left nearby.
Well, that just
Scribbles
sounds
is taking notes and is like, can you please describe exactly the appearance and dimensions of the great white tadpole?
Well, I haven't seen it up close personally, but what I've seen is a long, smooth hump gliding through the water, 20 or 30 feet long at a time, all pure, glistening white, like the driven snow. So I hear. I've never seen it.
Driven snow. Thank you.
Huh.
Rachel, someone of yours had a question as well?
Yeah, Fiona leans into the group and says, was the one we saw that big?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It didn't have like babies or anything. It's not like the swamp is like full of these things or something, right?
I don't know. It was long. It looked like a bony snake going through the water. Gotta be the great white tadpole.
It's gotta be. She's gotta be. Just the one. Fiona
So,
kind of.
if we were to leave a great offering for the great white tadpole, that would be a good thing for you. That would be a boon for you all.
Oh yes. If you made some sort of appropriate sacrifice to the great white tadpole,
Absolutely.
then I'm certain that
Group
we
huddle?
could forget any minor transgressions.
Group huddle? Group huddle?
Mm-hmm.
Group huddle. What if we leave the spice barrel for the great white tadpole?
Ooh, yeah.
Tadpole's
Did it
gotta
like
love
spices?
Oh.
Spices.
I look to Stredge.
Do we like spices?
Do tadpoles like spices? Did you like spices when you were a tadpole?
Did I? Can I roll to remember or something?
Let me think. Roll a d20, and on a 10 plus, you liked spices as a tadpole, and on a 9 minus.
I love them. Wonderful spices.
Well, what else can we offer the tadpole? Maybe then they will point us the way to Augustia, which they certainly seem to know about.
No, good idea, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
What else do we have? What else would frogs like? The mosquito ointment was sure nice. Maybe we could gather many mosquitoes.
Does it not want something specific to eat?
Good question. What does the guy... Wait, what did we see it eat? It was the crocodile.
Perhaps we should find another crocodile as an offering.
We could.
Drag the last crocodile out there? I don't know if it's gone back and eaten it, but there might still just be a crocodile corpse a ways back.
You killed one and chased the other one off, and then the one that you killed got
eaten.
sucked
It
under.
definitely got eaten? Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. Entirely sure.
Mm.
Does it talk? It's a tadpole. Does it turn into a frog? Fiona's like walking around kind of at the edge of the group, just like aliens.
Fiona, are you close enough that Phyllis would overhear you?
Yeah, I'm kind of just like throwing these questions out there, but like they're not helpful. So
Phyllis says, "Oh no, dear, no, it doesn't talk. No, indeed, I believe it must be the spirit of the tadpole within us all. Truthfully, I don't believe that it will ever develop into a frog, and if it did, then it would be quite large. Nevertheless, I don't believe it talks. As for offerings, those of us in town often just bring foodstuffs like honey cakes or fly ointment or leeks and potatoes. Sometimes we write little prayers and tie them to the boughs nearby so that it might bless us with its grace and kindness."
What if we draw straws and sacrifice the short straw to the tadpole?
But only with level 0 characters.
This is Kate's suggestion. Human sacrifice.
Yes, sure, yes. Yes, I am very okay with human sacrifice.
Or we could give him one of the dogs or the horse.
Babs is like looking on in horror at these suggestions, and Henley's like, "Don't
Nope.
worry, I'll find something," and goes off into the forest to find an animal to kill to sacrifice.
Phyllis calls out and says, "Wait! The great tadpole is largely vegetarian."
Henley starts hacking at a tree.
Dodged a bullet there.
She says, "The greatest offering would be a fresh, bright flower offered. Such things occasionally grow in the swamp. I believe that there are a few pod groves out to the west, perhaps somewhat close to the old house Dudeville."
what are these?
So Stretch pauses and says, "It seems like life wants us to go to House Dudeville." It sounds like the stars are aligning for us to go this way. What were you gonna say, Rachel?
Oh, Fiona wants to know what the flowers look like, remembering the flower petals closed in the barrel.
Yeah, Phyllis describes them. They're large lotus-looking flowers with deep red petals and bright yellow pollen. She makes an offhand comment that fresh, the nectar is a powerful hallucinogen, but then dried, the petals make an incredibly appealing spice.
Fiona turns around and declares, "Yeah, we got to get these flowers fresh, real fresh for the tadpole. You see, we should go."
Phyllis nods slowly in consternation and says, "Yes, fresh is best."
And then Fiona turns back around to Phyllis and in a quiet voice goes, "So we're gonna make the tadpole trip out? Like how trippy? Like a lot trip? Like what kind of trip? Describe the trip."
Phyllis laughs and says, "Oh, heavens no, the small amount of nectar in a single bright flower would never cause the great white tadpole to trip."
Okay, but for someone like roughly like 5'8", like Fiona's like, how much flour would they need?
Oh, one flower is enough for 4 frogs.
Okay. And Fiona's like, yeah, okay, yeah. And she's got all the info she needs.
Awesome.
Well, I guess off we go to house today.
Phyllis throws out her hand and says, "Wait, I simply can't let you travel in the swamp at this late day. You might find yourself accosted. Please take advantage of my hospitality.
Ha. Ha.
Allow me to home you in the rafters of my humble abode."
You guys want to stay here the night, or shall we go?
No, we should stay. Take advantage of their hospitality. You know, break bread,
Hospitality.
metaphorically. Yeah.
Hops. Hops.
Uh-huh.
Hops. We say it 8 times usually.
Yeah.
I cut it short for you. I knew you wouldn't relate.
You're a good friend.
All right. I guess we're sleeping here. I guess we're in no rush to go save Stretch today, because nobody cares about saving Stretch today in this town.
Phyllis nods and she says, "Well, if he's run afoul of the law, it really would be best for a house Dudeville's lineage to let the law take care of it. Come this way." And then she leads you through the town to her mud hut. And that is where we should take our second 5-minute break.